Because Akonji in some Yoruba definition means the one whose touch gives life. I believe this bears testament because after 25 years of living this side of eternity, his touch refuses to be extinguished. And his impact so far defies death. I could spend the rest of the day eulogizing and expressing what I personally know about an exceptional man. But I'm pleased to have on display today distinguished men and women who themselves at some point in their lives were touched by Adetunji, Ogunkanmi. So that floor will be left to them to judiciously address. So today's memorial is organized by a group of men and women who find origins and paths crossing with Cornerstone Insurance, and they are known simply as Cornerstone Ambassadors. These ambassadors floated the idea and initiative of the foundation now known and called Adetunji Ogunkanmi with the sole purpose of pursuing what Tunji Ogunkanmi stood for, his ideals, and what he represented. Every year and for the past 25 years, institutions, individuals, friends, colleagues have made memorable effort to remember his legacy and pay tribute to him. But for the past 8 years, since 2017, the collective of Cornerstone Ambassadors under the Adetunji Ogunkanmi Foundation have consistently engaged in philanthropic and bespoke events. This with the purpose of sharing one idea that we all have. Tunji Ogunkanmi lives on. So on behalf of the chairperson and members of the board of trustees, the executive committee of the Adetunji Ogunkanmi Foundation, the planning committee for this event, I want to welcome us warmly and hope that your time spent with us today will leave you with a memory that hopefully lasts a lifetime. Please, at this moment, help me welcome someone warmly, somebody by your side. Even if you've done that before, because I'm asking, just please go ahead and welcome somebody warmly. Thank you all so much for complying. My name is Oluyinka Adebi, a proud member of the Cornerstone Ambassadors, and I'm delighted to be your host this morning. Supporting me today, interestingly, for the first time since becoming his protege in matters related to tasks like this, is Mr. Tunde Said Lawansi. Please let me celebrate my boss. Please let me celebrate my boss. Once a boss, always a boss. Thank you very much. A few housekeeping rules. The exit doors for this hall is behind you. We have one to my right, the one most of us came through, and another one to my left. I believe nothing will cause you to go through the left door. But just in case, know that it's an exit door. That's important for us to know. Restrooms are also through that same door, the one on my right. As you go out through the right, you see a staircase. By the time you get to the staircase, you turn right. Once you turn right, the restrooms are there. Please carefully choose the one that is labeled for your gender so that you don't discover what you are not supposed to be looking for. Thank you all very much. But while we are here, if you need any kind of help, please, we have gentlemen in the planning committee and the executive committee standing around you. Just beckon on them. We'll be glad to help you ensure that your time here is well spent. I will now request that we all rise as we open the 25th annual lecture of the Adetunji Ogunkanmi Foundation, formally with the rendition of the national anthem. Please let's rise for the rendition of the national anthem. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to us now our Board of Trustee Chairperson. To formally usher in today's agenda, let me introduce to us the Board of Trustee Chairperson of the Adetunji Ogunkanmi Foundation, a trailblazer herself, a woman of distinction, a founding member, the original founding team of Cornerstone Insurance, a distinguished ambassador of Cornerstone Insurance, who also served at some point as the managing director, chief executive of the company, amongst many accomplishments. And she's currently the managing director of Risk Analyst Insurance Brokers Limited. Please warmly welcome, to take our welcome address, Dr. Fumi Babintin Ashaye. Please, a round of applause for our BOT chairperson.
Thank you very much.
a chairman of the occasion who is a distinguished personality occupying that function. So I want to say with every sense of understanding that our chairman today fits that bill. He is a true friend to the person we are celebrating today and has been a supporter of everything that celebrates his life and memory. With a career spanning several decades, he has become a formidable force in Nigeria's marketing and communication industry. As the founder and executive chairman of Bluebird Communications, one of the country's most enduring second-generation creative agencies, our chairman has done more than build a company. He's helped shape the very fabric of the marketing and communications industry. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues and cornerstone ambassadors, please make welcome the chairman of this occasion, Mr. Kunle Ogunmefun, founder and executive vice chairman, Bluebird Communication. A round of applause for our chairman, please.
Thank you, Yinka. I say very good morning to you all. It's so nice seeing several faces that I probably haven't seen in a long time. I'm actually seeing some faces of even pioneer staff, and that speaks volume about how they hold the event of today. Let me join my voice to Yinka and the chairman of BOT of the Adetunji Ogunkanmi Foundation to welcome you all to this event. And more importantly, thank the organizers for keeping up the torch and constantly recognizing the contribution of Tunji Ogunkanmi and what he had set up, which was Cornerstone Insurance, till today. So I warmly welcome you all to this event. I've been given 5 minutes, but I'm not sure 5 minutes will do justice to what I want to say. Before I continue, I would want us to actually recognize the reason why we are here, and plead with you all to please let's rise for a minute. So recognize and give a 1 minute silence to the memory of Tunji Ogunkanmi. May the soul of Adetunji Akonji Ogunkanmi, and indeed all the faithful departed, continue to rest in peace. Sammy, it's so nice to see you. Sitting right beside me, I didn't even know it was you. So, the chairman of BOT, thank you very much. Mrs. Fumba Binti Anshaye. When I was contacted by Tunde, I was, and that I would chair this occasion, of course, I knew I had no choice but to say yes, for many reasons. Tunji, extremely dear to my heart. a very great friend. And interestingly enough, today is his 65th birthday, or would have been his 65th birthday. And it's also Shokwe's birthday. Shokwe is not here, he's away in London. Muji is also in London, but Ayo is here with us. I also want to recognize Benga here, Tunji's younger brother, and several faces. Toye is here, Titi, my very good and dear sister. These are the people that actually shaped the fortune of Cornerstone. They built, they were the foundation people. Sammy, I recognize you. I'm sorry if there are some faces that I haven't picked, but I see a lot of faces that have been there for a very long time. So Tunde and Yinka, thanks for all that you have done over the years, especially Tunde. This is a constant conversation that we've always had. I really do not, I'm not sure whether I'll be given the, not that I'm the chairman. So, but let me say my own. It's really, well, now we give God all the glory. It's been 25 years. And it's not all people that have departed that we always remember, but we always said, you always, good souls are never forgotten. And I'm glad that we have gathered again to recognize a soul that we know that had left an enduring impact in our lives. Looking back, I was there that very fateful day. I saw him that morning. He was actually on the way to see Ayo in school. And we were in Ibadan together. So he left Ibadan, I left for Lagos. And we were supposed to meet later that evening at Mr. Tunde Afolabi's 50th birthday. Mr. Afolabi turned 75 some few days ago, or some few weeks ago. So I was there. And very painful what happened. But we just give God the glory. The company that is set up is thriving today. So I say a very big thank you to all the people that have contributed to the development of that company. The family that he left behind, they are doing extremely well. Biodun is good, and I can assure you that she's good. The children have done extremely well. Ayo, that was in Form 1 then, first year then, right? He's a lawyer and applying his trade, not just a first degree, LLM, and several accolades to his name, and building a very good career in a law firm of Banwa and Igodalo. Shokwe is doing well. I'm just giving you the good news so that you will understand that even 25 years after, God had been merciful to Cornerstone, which he built, to the family. And Moji is also doing well. Both of them are in England. So we just give God all the glory, and we have every reason to continue to thank him for what he had actually done. And we also cannot forget the fact that Tunji left an enduring legacy, and that's why we're all here to attest to. He built an institution, a very, very proud Ile-Ogbo man. When I say proud, extremely proud, Tunji will stand in the midst of anybody and tell you proudly where he is from. Never shy, despite all that he achieved at his young age, and where people are forming and posting to be what they are not, he would remind you that he came from a village called Ile-Ogbo. So he actually put Ile-Ogbo, pardon me? Stop, don't worry, it was a village. Now you can say that you modernized it. I went there. It's a town. Okay, town. The councillor is protesting, okay. Small London. Okay, it's all right. Small London. So where people are actually pretending what they are not. So it was a real human being that will tell you that where he was from. And an avid golfer, very proud community man, a lover of God. And so you will see that there are just so many sides of him that transcends even, and that's what we're talking about, legacy. So our conversation today really speaks to, or is going to speak to, the kind of virtues that Tunji held very important in his mind. So I want to warmly welcome you all again, and thank you for being here. I'm sure it will be a very good time well spent, and please enjoy every minute. Thank you.
Another round of applause to the chairman of the occasion, Mr. Kunle Ogumefun. We are privileged to have a number of distinguished people here, but please bear with me if we're unable to recognize us all. But let me take it from where the chairman has stopped to recognize the presence of the brother of Adetunji Ogunkanmi, Miss Honorable Benga Unkomi. You're welcome, sir. Please, let's celebrate Honorable Benga Unkomi. You're welcome. I also want to recognize the presence of one of our Board of Trustee members. Interestingly, Tunde was joking with me that we have pull out a big man from wherever we have always not seen him. Please celebrate our boss, Mr. Toye Odunsi. You're welcome, sir. We recognize your presence. We also have a number of founding members of the team that started Cornerstone. The chairman had mentioned Mr. Sami Agari. You're welcome, sir. We appreciate you. And also recognize the presence of Mrs. Titi Onolapo. You're welcome, madam. So for the next few minutes, we've put together some memory of Tunji that we could have, and some of the things we've been doing since he has left us. And also we took time to speak to the core founding team to share a few of their experience while Tunji was on this side of eternity. So for the next few minutes, just pay attention to the screen as we run this video. Thank you very much.
world feels quiet, the light turned low, a shadow lingers where you used to go.
My name is Sam Nagari. I joined Cornerstone as a founding member in April.
Group Head Finance of Cornerstone Insurance. I joined Cornerstone from the inception in April 1991, behind the scene, before its formal launch in July 1991.
Used to go.
My name is Dr. Fumi Babington Ashaye. I joined Cornerstone Nigeria Limited in 1991 as one of the pioneer member of staff. We were 5 when we started the company. Our late managing director, the visionary, late Adetunji Ogunkanmi, Mr. Jacob Erabo, Mrs. Ulualanu Bennett, Mr. Toye Odunsi, and my humble self. That was a great time.
My name is Toye Odunsi. I joined Cornerstone in 1991 April after the professional exams, the CACI professional exams. I joined Cornerstone as a member of I headed the business development as a deputy manager, and shortly, a few years down the line, I was transferred to the core clients department group. That group had the major accounts like Cadbury, Flour Mills.
Secretary and legal advisor. At the time, Mr. Okoli was also the chairman of Lighthouse Investments Ltd, the majority shareholder of Cornerstone Insurance plc. Why Cornerstone was established? Cornerstone.
I met late Adetunji Ogunkanmi during my youth service corps at Royal Exchange Assurance plc. Tunji approached me and shared his vision of starting a new insurance company with me. He told me about the need for a change in the way and manner insurance was being practiced as at that time, especially in the areas of claims settlement. He knew what he actually wanted to do, and he was focused and determined. Coincidentally, I was already seeking new opportunities as at that time.
What inspired me to join Cornerstone? Well, it wasn't like I was looking for a job, one, but at that time, it also coincided with the time Tunji was looking for a marketing manager. And so someone mentioned my name to him, and of course, because he knew me, he knew Lag, and he knew me as a member of his class, it was just a very hunky-dory thing. So we joined together. I wasn't trying to solve any problem, as it were. Cornerstone had come up in 1991. Shortly after, GT Bank, Zenith had also started. So something new was coming up in the insurance, in the banking industry. Of new generation banks, second generation banks were coming up. And so it felt like insurance also needed to do something, because they needed to be sure that they were also forward-looking. And so that's it.
Working culture, and all of us bought into it. We wanted to change the narrative in the insurance industry, and of course, the pay package was also a good incentive. So everybody wanted to join the winning team. At that time, the average age of all of us was 30, 31. And so we were quite young, and we were calling ourselves by our first names. We don't need to call Tunji. You should call Tunji Mr. Ogunkanmi, or you don't listen to you, just say, call me Tunji. And so all of us were calling ourselves by first name. They called me Sammy. Early days were interesting, actually. When we came on board, there was nothing on the table. So we had to fold our sleeves, and then we started, all of us started going back to where we were coming from, to seek for facultative businesses to sustain the company. And we were very creative.
Yes, definitely. His dream of changing the mindset of insurance industry in Nigeria was achieved. Young and trendy players came in after him and built on his legacy. The industry gained a bit of respect and admiration. But what I am most proud of is the formation of Cornerstone Ambassador. It allows connection, especially with colleagues. I love connection, which is huge to me. I feel a need to share a true story of what I believe contributed to Cornerstone's success. Tunji had the feasibility study for about 2 years, taking it to others who he believed would share the dream. But no one showed interest. And he was particularly lambasted by one big man who told him, "You are silly to think you can compete with Nikon." He went home disillusioned. He cried overnight. Then in the morning, he had a thought of discussing with Mr. Bay. Mrs. Bay is Miss Ogunkanmi, and both Mr. and Mrs. Bay have always mentored him. Without reading it, Mr. Bay suggested the three of them prayed over it. They put the feasibility study in the middle and they held hands and prayed over it. Mr. Bay discussed with Mr. Okoli, who fully funded the startup. The rest is history, as people say. Today I don't have any share, or don't know what happened to what I owned, but I cherish the connection with colleagues, which is irreplaceable to me.
That all those training capacity, because when we were having management meetings, he realized the gaps. When he said, "Oh, we can do this, we can do that," and we were all saying, to just stop dreaming, can't do that. But he knew, he was deliberate, he was very intentional, particularly when he came back from Astridge, the management consulting, course that he went to in the UK. He brought a lot of new ideas, and that's what the ideas he brought to Cornerstone at that time, and what Cornerstone was doing at that time, are still important as at today. They are still points of discussion. The issues he brought up, like
of Adetunji Akonji Ogunkanmi. Thank you very much. So resemblance, they say, can be very intense. You can say that about the first son of Tunji Ogunkanmi. One look at him, you can see his father written all over him. A distinguished barrister in his own right. Please celebrate as we welcome Barrister Ayo Ogunkanmi to give his remarks on behalf of the family.
Hello. Okay. Thank you very much. I won't take too much of your time. As you said, on behalf of the family, we want to thank the Board of Trustees, the Chairman, the Speaker, and the Cornerstone, and the panelists for coming, as well as the guests. We truly appreciate that. As everyone has pointed out, 25 years after my late dad's passing, there are people here that are willing to celebrate not just his legacy, but their time in Cornerstone or their friendship with him, and we truly appreciate it. On the topic of health, it was very interesting. If you saw the videos, they showed the videos of one of the walks we took a while ago as part of the foundation. I'm happy this time, the health conversation, we are sitting down this time. But health is very important, as everyone said. My dad was an avid sportsman. I think, if I remember, he used to initially play squash, but then all of a sudden, I saw his side going golfing. And that became probably the main sport, maybe apart from swimming once in a while. And it was something he always encouraged us to, maybe my brother took to it more than me, my brother and sister. But always encouraged us to be active and to take care of our health. And I think this is a very, given everything that's currently happening in the insurance sector as well this year, this is a very timely topic. So I won't say too much more, looking forward to hearing the speaker, and thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayo. Another round of applause for Ayo. So we've come to the point of receiving the speaker for today's lecture. I'd like to read the profile of Mr. Stephen Alangbo, the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Cornerstone Insurance PLC with the kind permission of the chairman of the occasion. Mr. Stephen Alangbo is the Group Managing Director of Cornerstone Insurance PLC. He is a distinguished figure in the insurance sector with over 32 years of experience. His career trajectory reflects a remarkable journey of leadership and expertise. Currently at the helm of Cornerstone Insurance PLC, Cornerstone won the award of African Insurance Company of the Year at the 2024 African Insurance Organization Conference held in Windhoek, Namibia. Thank you for clapping. I'm sure Tunji would be shifting wherever he is in celebration. Mr. Lango also recently won the award as a top 25 CEOs in Nigeria at an event organized by Business Day in September of 2024. He joined ARM Life PLC as a Managing Director CEO in 2016, and prior to this, he was the Managing Director Chief Executive of Capex Life Assurance Company Limited, Nairobi, Kenya in 2011, and also Managing Director of Capital Express Assurance, Monrovia, Liberia in 2013. Stephen Alangbo has earned recognition as a life insurance specialist and was a nominee for the African Insurance Award in the CEO category in 2020 and 2024, highlighting his industry prowess. His extensive experience encompasses various facets of the insurance business, locally and internationally. Mr. Alangbo holds a BSc in mathematics with statistics from the University of Lagos and an MBA from the Esut Business School, Enugu. He is also a fellow of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria. His dedication to excellence and unwavering commitment to ethical business practices continue to shape the insurance landscape, positioning him for his second coming to Cornerstone Insurance PLC as its managing director. His leadership is characterized by a profound impact, making him a pivotal figure in the sector's ongoing growth and development. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly applaud with me our guest speaker for today's lecture, Mr. Stephen Alangbo. Round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone. I don't know if protocol has already been established, but then I want to start by saying good afternoon, everyone. It's still morning. The chairman of occasion. I don't know whether we have a lot of His Excellencies here, chief executives, the chairman of BOT, the distinguished members who started Cornerstone Insurance PLC, ladies and gentlemen. Before getting and the family, of course, my apology. Mrs. Biodun Ogunkanmi and the children. We want to thank God for your life. After 25 years, you're still bright and shining. We want to thank God for that. Before I start this short presentation, it's good to always remember those who have made us to be here, and with Tunji Ogunkanmi and the founding members that started Cornerstone, I want us to put our hands together for them. If they've not started this organization today, we'll not be here. We'll not be talking about it. So I want to thank them for taking the courage to support the visionary to start a great institution. Also, before I start, I want to make a suggestion. Just going beyond our annual remembrance of Tunji Ogunkanmi, there may be the need for us to be able to inspire another Ogunkanmi, either from the student or from the insurance industry. And whichever we want to do it, people who will have determination to change the status quo. I guess that was what differentiated Cornerstone from every other organization. So we can look at it that will see people who have the same vision and who will pray to change the generation. Maybe that will change our country for better. Lastly, before I start also, there may be some, at any point in time, when any of the members of the organization was not properly treated. I want to apologize on behalf of the rest of us that are here, that are in Cornerstone. Please pardon us for whatever offense or things that have been done that may not have been properly done. I want to apologize on behalf of everyone. I hope our apology is accepted. Much. Thank you very much. If this meeting had been a physical meeting, I would have said all the MDs that had served in Cornerstone should have right for us to be able to give for their recognition. Unfortunately, not many of them are here. Some are online. But they've built a foundation that we are standing on today. As I go into the presentation, titled Beyond Insurance, Building Resilience, Health, and Legacy, I will try and shorten the time. Next page, talk about an individual. Please, can we move to the next page? Talk about an individual. And I won't want to go into detail, but I would just want to summarize few things that we know about him. So, I'm not sure in Nigeria today we have many who have this popularity after they are dead, or a legacy that for a long time in the mind of many people because of lives that have been touched. So, but what made him a bit different from every other person? He had a vision. And the chairman of occasion said that at a time it looked as if the vision was not going to come into reality. And he stayed and prayed. So he gave everything to that vision. Maybe if we want to say, will it have been for his benefit? Maybe he wants to make money. Of course not. I guess he wanted to change the narratives. He wanted to change an industry. He wanted to do something different. He's a praying man, or he was a praying man. Maybe that gave a very good foundation to the organization. Aside that, he had a heart that is soft, willing to help, willing to support, willing to meet needs. That differentiated him a little. And that attached many people, even after his death, to him. Also to build an industry that will not be inferior to any other industry. These are peculiarities of Tunji Ogunkanmi. There are many of us know him more than some of us because we related very close with him. But I think it's important not just to celebrate him, but for us to say, what do we learn? How do we change our environment? Because those who served 25 years ago, some of them are above 50, and above 60. It means we are getting of age. And there's need for us to be able to ensure that we have a legacy that endured. Going into the next page, please. Going into the topic today. So we talk about resilience. We talk about health. We talk about legacy. I'll just simple definition. So resilience is the capacity to withstand or to recover quickly from difficulties. Toughness, the remarkable resilience of so many institutions. Also, the ability of substance, an object, to spring back to shape. Talking about elasticity. The lack of resilience would make people to give up on a dream that will have been big. Some are taking their life because there's a little challenge and they've given up. Some will have made so much difference, but because of the inability to endure for a short period, they give up. Health is a state of being free from illness and injury. It's important for us to understand that it's generally good for us in the next 10, 20 years, 30 years, for every one of us to still have this occasion and also remember Tunji and celebrate some new things and build another Tunji who will be changing many things. And so that's the reason why there's need for us to be in good health and to be particular about everyone being in health. It's very expensive to be sick. And when you are not healthy, you are doing insurance, it's very expensive. You know, insurance people call it a very funny name. If you are going to do insurance and you are not very healthy, they call it substandard life. They charge more premium. So it's better for us to have to be healthy so that we have a standard life. And when we talk about legacy is something transmitted by or received from an ancestor or a predecessor or from the past. Something such as personal property or money that is willed to someone by a person who has died. Or rather, we'll say a company that was is alive as of today. Imagine what cornerstone you will be thinking. But I think we will get there. Because I'm thinking of a company that will have been an old co. That will have many subsidiaries. Limited in crisis, and you're offices, and you're often on your own most times. And that's the reason why there's need for us to be strong. Many depend on one income. And if that fails, many people are impacted. Going into health. Healthcare is mostly self-funded. Illness can erase saving. So today, it's better not to believe in taking drugs. From life assurance perspective, there are basic challenge that we have today. Obviously, we know that, and interestingly, many regions, even in Nigeria, have peculiarities. When you come to the West, they say there are peculiar sickness with the West. Western Nigeria. Oh, they say cancer. In Northern Nigeria, there are peculiar sicknesses. Maybe cataract, maybe peculiar sicknesses. In the East, there are peculiar sicknesses that affect people. But generally, blood pressure used to come because of almost giving up. High cholesterol, generally major cause of sickness, major cause of collapse. Our eating habit, it can impact our health. So we're saying that if we come to the consciousness of knowing how we live, so experts have said that exercise can help us to solve most problems. Exercise can deal with cancer, can deal with high blood pressure, can deal with cholesterol, and most abnormality in the system. And so it's important for us to give priority to it. Yes, it's not very easy. I can maybe relate with maybe a person like Ronaldo, who says that to do exercise, it's not easy. It's difficult. But you need to do it. So if we need to do it because of our health, there's need for us to give priority to it. Because we want to see all the faces. We know of our colleagues that have passed. Some of the time we remember their humor, their liveliness, the way we relate together. Unfortunately, they are no more, and we miss them sometimes. And our prayer is that we will not, in a long time, we will not miss anyone within the group. So going back to legacy, death is often sudden without planning, and families suffer deeply. Asset fails without structure. If there's no will or insurance, it results in confusion and a lot of losses. Your name must meet security. And when we talk about legacy is key. We will say that for us as human, there is need for us to have a rethink when it comes to legacy. So I will give an illustration. It's going to be a small presentation, but I will just be, at a time, I will be a bit practical. There are pillars for leaving a legacy, starting from legacy. Protection, security for those you leave behind. Then we talk about provision, what you build and hand over. And we talk about peer, what lives beyond your possession. A true legacy begins with protection. It's the deliberate decision to ensure that those who depend on you are not left vulnerable when you are no longer there. Protection means planning ahead. And we can do it through many means. Maybe through insurance, through financial provision, through building structures. So that your absence does not mean become a crisis. It is love expressed in advance. Legacy. It says, even if I'm gone, you will not be exposed. Legacy. When you talk about provision, legacy is not only about what you leave behind. It's also about what you build while you are alive. Building, obviously we know, someday everyone will go if Jesus tarries. And there's the need for us to, and we're going to carry out an exercise as we go along in the presentation. I know I have a limited time. But it's important for us to not live for now. But because the way the world is created, some of us fly, they go on the road, many things happen. We take insurance because there are risks that we are not prepared for. But things happen. And there's a need for us to be able to say, if for any reason, we are not here, what's going to be said about us? It's not the money that we make, or not the name or the influence that we've built, or power that we have amassed. It's more of what we left behind. Provision is the wealth. Provision is the wealth, asset, knowledge, and opportunity you intentionally created and transfer. It is the bridge between your labor and the future of your family. A life without provision may inspire, but a life with provision empowers. It turns hard work into continuity. Legacy. Pierre. What lives beyond your possession? The deepest legacy is not money or property. It is value that you build. For us in Cornerstone, if you are listening in the market, we remember our founding a few times. Some of them, when I go to presentation and some of them are there, I say we remember our founding father, and some of them don't want to listen to that. But it's the value that the company was built with, were they good value? So if they were good values, we'll keep it in a long time, because it's values that matters. Value shapes how what you live is used, and how it's sustained, or how it's squandered. Discipline, integrity, faith, kindness, and responsibility are the unseen inheritance every generation must receive. Possession can be lost, but value once planted can outlive you for decades. Now let's talk about resilience briefly. How to build personal resilience. Live beyond your means. Spend less than you earn to create a financial buffer. Diversify your income. Never rely on single source of earning. Because of time, I'll just short this, but it's some of the time there are words that we have had in the past, but when it comes to a period of uncertainty, things are not stable in the world today. Many things are so predictability is becoming a problem, because things are changing and changing very fast. Invest in skill and not just money. Skill travels where money may fail. Build an emergency fund. Say target 3 to 6 months of basic living expenses. Basic fact that some of us are aware. But there's need for us to be intentional, to think through and be deliberate in keeping to them. Ensure what will devastate you: to lose your health, to lose your life, asset, and income. It's not very good for us, knowing insurance, not to take insurance, no matter how little it is. It's important for us to understand that because of the communal nature of this part of the world, the small money that you will not leave for insurance, you will leave it, or you will spend it for a friend who is in difficulty, who wants to pay school fees, who is the neighbor who is in difficulty, a party that is important for us to attend. While I round up, I want us to can we scroll this slide next to please? I want us to carry our own exercise. Let's all put our hands and I will be the only one that will do something. Let's open our eyes. If you really close your eyes, did you know what I did? So, Tunji closed his eyes. He's not seeing us. But the legacy that he left behind, we are all talking about it. And I have different people that I've met since becoming the managing director of Cornerstone. And I will talk to them and say, Tunji, he was the first person that attended my marriage he gave me money when I did this. When I was in difficulty, he did this. They wouldn't have been telling me lies because I really don't need it. That's the impact that he made. And the reason why I ask us to close our eyes is, let's remember, sometimes there's need for us to close our eyes. And let's imagine what people will say about us, what they will do for us, how they will remember us. We will know it here. And we should rehearse it that, okay, suppose I'm not here. What is it that they will talk about me? What is the impact that I've made in the life of people? And if not only us, as a nation, Nigeria, if everybody come to that realization, we won't have hundreds of thousands of bandits in the bush because they don't have what to eat or they were not properly considered. They've gone into drug and some people have confused them. If all of us, not only here as a nation, we have closed our eyes as if we are not there, and what people will talk about us, it will now help us to be able to live now and have that consciousness that when we are not there, we are deliberate about what will happen. What will happen? What will they talk about us when we are not there? That will make us to pay less on financial gain, our beauty, the political power, and whatever that we think it's important to us. And that's legacy. How to build a lasting legacy. Put your affairs in order early. Write a will and document your asset clearly. Protect your family with life insurance policy. Love must outlive you financially. Build transferable asset. Tax is coming. There's need for us to be able to understand that we cannot be careless about tax because everything in Nigeria from 2026, almost everything that is going to be taxed. And there's a need for us to be able to have that consciousness. Build transferable asset, property, businesses, investment, and income. Take annuity policy. If you take a deferred annuity policy, your tax, you are better off as an employee in tax payment because it's tax deductible. So they will take away whatever you are paying as life insurance policy before they calculate your tax. Teach money and not just give money. Pass on value deliberately. Name beneficiary and successor, and let's ensure that they are all documented. How insurance can help. Because of our time, I'm not be able to get into that. Take a life policy. Get a motor. Make sure that your motor policy, you have a third-party insurance, and when you have claim, it is no longer let my people go. You can claim under your third-party insurance policy. Take take policy for your education policy. Teach your children to take insurance because it gives a peace of mind. Parting word as we round up. We do not control how long we live, but we do control how well we prepare. Thank you very much.
Please, another round of applause for our speaker for that delivery and the closing shots. We may not be able to determine how long we live, but our preparation is key for that time and season of life. At this point, we're going into a panel session. We are bringing on some distinguished people to speak to the topic of today, beyond insurance, building resilience, legacy. And before I call out our panel, I just want to welcome those that joined as the speaker was going on, and if you've joined thereafter, you're welcome to the 25th annual memorial lecture in honor of Adetunji Ogunkanmi. This lecture, this event is organized and hosted by the Cornerstone ambassadors under the Adetunji Ogunkanmi Foundation. We have also recognized a number of distinguished people that have been here, and we acknowledge everyone that has come. We are appreciative of your coming, and thank you for coming. There's something I would have loved to do that is off the program. I'm just wondering whether you will cooperate with me if we try it. So while the speaker was giving us the lecture, I noticed that everybody was inching to greet somebody. And I was wondering that if I allow you to do that now, we will be able to have a house organized in this place. You know, so I was just thinking about it. Do we not? Do we not? Can we have an agreement? Will you promise me 5 minutes and not more? And when you hear me, please have your seat. You will comply. Please, can you go ahead and greet somebody you have been inching and longing to greet? Thank you, everyone. I want to remind you of your commitment. I have not said it yet, but I'm getting ready to say it. Once you hear me say, please have your seats, I've not said it. I appreciate your complying and keeping to your word. Thank you, everyone. Can we kindly all have our seats so we move on with the event? Thank you, everyone. Please have your seats. I can assure you by the time we are done, if you want to stay back and greet everybody all over again, I will have no control of your time. But right now, I appreciate if we all can get back to our seats so that we continue with the meeting. You gave me your word, and I'm watching the people that are not keeping to their words. Insurance, we say we keep to our word. Please, let's settle down, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we are moving on to the next part of today so that we can get the event over with. And we have a panel session. I have started, please. I will appreciate if you are all seated. Thank you very much. We have a panel session, and I am about to start calling the members of the panel to come onto the stage where the panel will commence. Because of time, we want to appeal to the panel members to keep their comments and questions brief, because we would also like to see whether we can take 1 or 2, 3 comments from the audience and see how quickly we can close out today. In no particular order, please, I want to welcome the distinguished Managing Director and Chief Executive of Sanlam Alliance Nigeria Insurance Limited, Mr. Tunde Mimiko. A round of applause for Mr. Mimiko as he makes his way up. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Mimiko. I hope you are all still with me. Thank you very much. Also, welcome warmly the distinguished Managing Director of the Nigerian Liability Insurance Pool and a distinguished Cornerstone Ambassador, Mrs. Adeyinka Adekoya, also known as Mrs. Y. Please celebrate her for me. The two of us understand. Please also welcome and celebrate the distinguished Registrar, Chief Executive Officer of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, CIN, my Registrar, and a distinguished Ambassador, Mrs. Abimbola Tiamiyu. I am corrected. Dr. Mrs. Abimbola Tiamiyu. And to coordinate the panel session, I want to apologize on behalf of one of our panel members. He informed us of his itinerary yesterday and had been trying to get here on time. But I'm sure we're all aware that there's a lot happening in Lagos today, and it's already crystallized into the roads and is a bit stuck right now. So we will have to move on. To coordinate the panel session is none other than a doctor himself, a proud Cornerstone Ambassador, the chief strategy and product officer at Linkage Assurance PLC, Dr. Imo O. Imo. Please let's celebrate Dr. Imo as he makes his way here. So at this juncture, I will relinquish the floor and mic to the distinguished doctor.
Calm down. Can I have this? Okay, they're going to use. I may say good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, my bosses, because I know many of you here are my bosses. Thank you. Let me use that word. Thank you. Good morning, distinguished guests, friends, as well as colleagues of our late founder, Adetunji Ogunkanmi. Today we gather to remember a professional icon, not just to remember him, but to reflect on how he turned the industry. Fortunately, Cornerstone was founded when I just finished my youth service, and I started working in an insurance company under the tutelage of my late uncle, Professor Joy Onyoko. And he used to talk very good things about that young man, Tunji, what he's doing. And from ADIC, we were able to see that Cornerstone was doing what was to the industry, insurance industry, what GTB is to the banking sector. And a lot of people, a lot of companies tried to copy Cornerstone templates. But I'm not going to say
those that have failed, and the remaining two from my own assessment as a strategist that still try to maintain the cornerstone template, but original is very different from photocopy, you remember? So I would like to say thank you, and it was an honor for me to also work in Cornerstone sometime after longing to work in Cornerstone. But yes, I admire our founder from far, but I didn't work directly under him. I worked directly under one of his lieutenants, Jacob Irabo, and I was happy that I found out what those DNA in Cornerstone, the DNA of our founder that he left, is still in Cornerstone. And today, we're going to gather to remember him, and like the title, the topic of our speaker, Beyond Insurance, Resilience, Health, and Legacy, our panel of distinguished industry leaders will try to unpack these dimensions, linking professional practices with these three pillars. And so I'm going to know on the person. I will throw this question to the three of them. I have my, thank God I've qualified. Yeah. So I'm going to start with you, Ma. What does beyond insurance mean in today's Nigeria, and how can the sector redefine its purpose for resilience, wellness, and not just indemnity?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Before I answer the question, when you said you started insurance in 1991, right? Yeah. I'm like, that's my matric number, 919293. I entered university in 1991. So that means when I was entering university, they were starting the company.
I was a graduate trainee that time.
No, me, I was just an undergraduate. So now to your question, what does it mean? I wouldn't answer it the technical way. I would just say I want to answer it the human way. It means that putting what Tunji has done into the industry by our individual selves. So in your own sphere, how are you making an impact in the life of Nigeria? Not just the industry, forget all this technical thing. In the family, what are you doing to raise your children to build that resilient spirit that they would need to make Nigeria better? In your offices, at your churches, your mosques, your social clubs, what are we doing differently? You know, they said something when he started that he wanted to make an impact differently in the insurance sector. What are we doing now as individuals, as corporate entities, to ensure that Nigeria at the end of the day will come up in 10 years' time, in 15 years' time, in 20 years' time and say, Bimbola did this for me. Oh, Bimbola did this in this community. Oh, I can't forget. A lot of people are saying good things about Tunji today. What will they say about us? So that's the way I'll just answer. It's the food for thought for everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you very much for that answer. You've shown not just that you are a scholar, but you're also a professional. Thank you. All right, and also a mother. The next question. I'm going to ask this question to Mrs. Adekoya, also my boss one time in Cornerstone. Madam, with your extensive experience across institutional business, development and leadership, being from head of underwriting to managing an insurance company, and also today managing a quasi-insurance company or a quasi-insurance arrangement, like the Nigerian liability pool. In your view, what are the critical levers to increase trust and access in insurance for ordinary Nigerians, so that resilience is not just it's not just for the corporate class? And my last question for you is: legacy is often about influence beyond your tenure. What purposeful initiative are you personally championing to leave a lasting legacy in the insurance sector?
When you ask a PhD holder to start asking questions from people who only went to school, you can see that all these questions are so packed together, almost as if we are writing a thesis. So good morning, everyone. I'm going to approach his question from my personal perspective. First, his question relates to legacy. I'll start from the last one he asked, which is the legacy I wish to leave behind after I leave the scene. I think for everybody, we owe it to ourselves. Do you want to leave your face in the sands of time? Or do you want to be remembered for anything after you are gone? It depends on how you go about it. For me, I have been deliberate about what I've been doing the past few years. I remember when people speak about vying for a post in the Council of Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, I just sat at the back. But one elder called me one day. Yinka, what are you doing about contributing to the insurance industry? You can't sit at the back or at the fence and and just be contributing from the back. You have to be at the forefront to contribute. And from that moment, I started deliberately contesting for the post of election to be a council member. Because I realized that being a council member will make me to contribute in one way or the other to the progress of the insurance business. I don't have any other career. I've spent over 40 years in the insurance industry. I don't know how to do any other business. And I want to see an insurance business that is better than the way I met it when I first joined the industry. And relating it to Tunji Ogunkanmi, some of us were in the university at the same time like him, but we didn't have the courage he had at that time to found a company. That courage, I don't know how many young men had that courage at that time, but it was a huge lot of courage for him to stand out at that time to say, okay, I want to found a company. And he founded that company, and the company is also still standing today. I'm happy that at one point in time in my life, I have also contributed to whatever Cornerstone is today. And I'm also happy about the way Cornerstone is today, that it continues to grow from strength to strength. I pray that Cornerstone will outlive all of us. The second question, can you go over it again?
Okay,
I say he's a PhD holder, and it was packed with so many things at the same time.
Okay, I'm going to unpack it.
Yes.
So
Please unpack it.
I was trying to say, in what way are you trying to operationalize resilience? Not just for the corporate class, but also for the insuring public.
Resilience is the roots of everything we are discussing about. Ability to cope with when things happen to us. Because sometimes when life throws banana at us, we don't know how to cope. And resilience gives us that ability to cope. So one thing that is missing in the Nigerian insurance sector today is penetration of the retail market. Most insurers go after the corporate businesses. And if you really want the masses to benefit from insurance, we need to be deliberate about how we go about selling insurance to the masses, those who do not understand insurance. We need to start moving away from the regular products we sell today. We need to have another rethink about product development, like bringing products that will meet the need of those who really need insurance. Because today we are still unable to sell insurance to those masses because the corporate business is good. We get a lot of money from corporate business, and all the efforts, if you look at all the efforts all the insurance companies in Nigeria have done put together today, we still haven't achieved much in terms of retail business. And there are a lot of low-hanging fruits. Look at let me leave telco, because you can see telephone is very important. Everybody wants to use telephone. But look at the fintech banks, or whatever they call them, say the OPay, the Money Point, and so on. See the way they penetrate the local market. Can insurance of today or tomorrow be able to penetrate that same large market? Because it's a large market. So we should start thinking in that way to see how we can do that. NIRA is here today. NIRA makes some of those policies compulsory, but then when something is compulsory, people really don't want to go into something that is compulsory. It's rather we make it something people are willing to buy. And for us as practitioners, whether NIRA has given us for people that are not insurance people, NIRA is our latest baby, our act. We had an old one to 2000 and since 2003. It was only this year that we had a new act. So NIRA has given us a lot of opportunities for us to expand the insurance industry. And I think if you don't get it right at this time, it it will be very bad for the future of the insurance business in Nigeria. I thank God I'm also part of those who are looking at how NERA can be implemented. So in one way or the other, I'm also contributing in that area. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I really like the idea of the fintechs, especially what OPay, MoneyPoint have done as a good example of resilience, because a lot of banks came and they are no more, but these other ones, their penetration, and we can see that even where there is problem with financial inclusion, they have penetrated. Thank you very much. Adetunji, thank you very much. You led, or you are still leading, one of the Nigerian arm of a large African financial service group. How do you interpret resilience for retail individual policyholders in Nigeria, especially in the life insurance context? Madam have spoken on non-life, I would say, but from the life insurance perspective, how do you interpret resilience? And throwing the example of the nano banks, the MoneyPoint, OPay, is there any way that we can replicate that? Because it's a good example of being resilient. And the fact, like you said, I will pack my questions. Looking ahead, what legacy should your generation of life insurance executive be building for the next generation in terms of insurance industry penetration? Because in Nigeria, insurance is a grudge purchase, as they used to say, and life is even lower than non-life. So what are you doing to improve that from the legacy point of view?
Thank you very much. Is it afternoon now? Everybody? It's almost afternoon. Good almost afternoon then. Let me again just stand on existing protocol but thank the organizers of this event to deem it appropriate that I join the conversation. I was a bit confused when I looked at the panelists and everybody involved. They're all affiliated to Cornerstone one way or the other, except my good self. So I had to ask the organizers that I hope you did not make a mistake thinking I was at some point in my career in Cornerstone. And they said no. But I can link, I'll link the Cornerstone connection too at some point in the course of this conversation. But your specific question around what legacy are we, my generation, building today that can help engender growth tomorrow? A great man, I think it's Warren Buffett, that said, someone is under a shade today because someone planted the tree many years ago. If I take a lesson from that quote, it means we that are opportune to serve today must be thinking about the impact that our action today will make many years from now, which is why we're celebrating a legend today, late Adetunji Ogunkanmi. The foundation that he has built is what many of us are thriving on today. And I say so that I'll connect the dots between Cornerstone and where I sit today. When we started Sanlam Alliance, we started then in Nigeria as FBN Live in 2010. I think we brought staff boss to Cornerstone to come and recruit. Because if I look around then, many of our pioneer staff were from Cornerstone. That's what I mean by we just took a boss to Cornerstone and then was calling them in. So pioneer employees of FBN Live, many of them were from Cornerstone. And if you again take it further, we now are suppliers to the insurance companies that are now springing up. When you go to the likes of AIRS, is a Sanlam Alliance environment, same for Prudential Life and the rest of them. Which means that foundation, that seed that was sown in 1991 is what we are all thriving on. So for us, what are we doing to ensure that that impact lives on? The seed we sow today, doing things right collectively and as individuals in our different spaces, impacting lives in such a manner that insurance is of value to them, will continue to expand the market space and continue to impact lives. So we're building a culture of trust. We keep putting structures in place to make sure that in our own space we impact lives, transform lives, and that's why our aspiration, for example, at Salam Alliance is to enable not less than 1 million lives on an annual basis achieve their objective. And we do that by showing value in them being able to come on board and be our clients. So we build structures around servicing them well in such a way that they keep referring us to every client. The first question you asked was around resilience and how we as an industry too can build that resilience that will again engender growth, right? Is that what you talked about? Insurance generally help in tough times, okay? And it is not when it is needed that it should be subscribed to, but it is something that is good to have so that you don't run into financial difficulties when that need arises. It's important that we continue to show value. It's important that as leaders, we understand that tough times don't last, tough people do, and keep building everything we do around the fact that it's not enough to give excuse that this is the barrier that's making us not to scale, but to always look for ways to make sure that we navigate those challenges and be positioned to serve customers very well. What we do in our individual spaces is what accumulates into what the industry is known for, and that on its own can help build a foundation for a better tomorrow. Thank you.
Let me give Dr. Bimbola to say something.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
when he
much
asked that question, I just whispered to him. I said, I would like to speak to this with life statistics. Yes, we are doing something in our generation to make these things better. But the future generation, sincerely, we need to do a little bit more. Not just a little bit more. We need to do much more. It's so sad that as a date, we don't have experts in life assurance. We don't have experts, young people coming up in aviation. We don't have experts in marine, and we don't have experts in aviation, marine, and one other technical course. Why is that so? Reinsurance is general. Why is this so? It's because we that are the elders here, at least I'm also above 50 now, so I can call myself an elder. We that are the elders here, we are not consciously passing on this thing. So yes, a Mr. Mimiko is doing all these things. A Mrs. Adekoya is building that foundation. But who will build on that foundation? They are not here. They don't understand the basic thing as fire insurance. What does it cover? They know it in the head. They've crammed it. But they don't understand it. They can't practicalize it. You're sending someone to go and do a survey at number 5, Sakati Numbu, is going to number 15, and is giving you excuses to justify that it's Google Map that took me there. That's what they write in the exams. And you're worried because we're building this thing, but there's no one to build on it. So in building the resilience, I just want to talk to us as individuals that let's do more. Pick up 1 or 2 people or 5. Groom them in the technicalities of insurance practice so that when they get to take over from us, they will not destroy what we have built. I say it proudly, I'm 2nd generation insurance. My dad worked in the insurance industry for 26 years, and he was able to pass on an insurance industry to me. Till today, my dad would say, Bimbo insurance because he believes that we're no longer practicing. He's 88 years old. He believes we're not practicing insurance. But I tell him, Daddy, the insurance we're doing now, we have gone beyond what we are doing. I explained to him, but he's still not getting it. But can we hand over to our own generation, our own children? A lot of us ask us, oh, will you want your child to come to insurance practice? And most of us that I've spoken to, we kept on saying no. Because we're not doing the right things. My dad was proud enough to hand over insurance to us. And I know some people in this room also. I will mention them because it's public knowledge. Mr. Bode Opadoku, he has a second generation insurer in his family to his daughter. Dr. Mrs. Ashaye Babintin, she has a second generation insurance. Mrs. Adekoya, yes, she has second generation. So a lot of us are handing over to Lola too. A lot of us are handing over to the next generation. But are we also handing over to our own generation? I can also say it proudly. My daughter is an actuarial, is studying actuarial science. She's in 400 level. So I keep telling them, I have third generation insurance in my family. Can we say the same thing of ourselves? Can we pick someone and say, oh, this is my mentor. I trained this person. I say it publicly anyway. I'm surprised she's not here. I'll tell her, you may be my organ now in terms of earning big salary, but you're still my girl. I trained her. I can point to her and say, oh, this is someone I trained in the insurance industry. Can you pick up 2-3 people individually and train them, especially in life, in marine, in aviation, in the dream of Tunji, which is fire insurance? We don't have experts again. It's sad. But please, let's pick up one of these courses and let's do something about it. If that's the only takeaway you take from the institute today, please take it as a project and let's pick someone and nurture them in that field so as to build resilience. Thank you very much.
Once a chief examiner, always the chief examiner. Thank you very much, ma. All right, thank you. We're talking about legacy. Something just, I did a study and I found out that no insurance company in Nigeria has produced the number of managing directors, EDs. You just mentioned me by it. You know, when we were in Cornerstone, I remember she was under you. Yeah. I know insurance company in this market, maybe apart from Nikon, the old Nikon, not new Nikon. No insurance company, no insurance company has produced MDs, EDs, GMs like Cornerstone, and so that goes to show, yes, so that goes to show there was something Tunji Ogunkanmi did. There was something when we talk about resilience. What he did outlived him in terms of resilience. So the DNA, the ecosystem, I wonder, that was when I started, I wanted to know what was that the cornerstone man. There's something about the cornerstone man that he's always the leader, wherever he goes. And there's something about the cornerstone man that he will be identified. Please, let that legacy continue. I wanted to say in Jesus' name.
Amen.
All right, thank you very much. As we begin to round up, I'm going to round up now. As we begin to round up, I will ask this general question. I just want to say, so, Madam, Mrs. Adekoya. Yeah. All right, it's going to be a general question. Okay, let me ask you. All right. How can CI institutionalize ethical leadership and ensure legacy values that are lived individuals, just like our founder did?
Thank you very much.
In less than one minute.
Yeah, I'll be very fast. It's not by putting it in the course book to teach, because a lot of the people making the decision are already, they're already chartered, so they are not doing the exams again. But one way we can do that is to, at every opportunity, talk to one another and ensure that we don't just talk, that we actually put into practice what we say. So what does that mean? You read something in a book, you go for a training, you go for an event, you put it into practice. Like today, Mrs. Adekoya said, oh, let's deepen insurance, let's do this. So she said she took up council form and entered into council. Let's do something positive, positive action. So that's just what I'll say. So Institute must drive it from on top to say, whatever you hear, whatever you listen to, any symposium you go to, anything you listen to, even if it's not insurance, like we have mentioned OPay and Co., put it into practice in your field as an insurer, and then let's improve the industry. Then Institute will now say if there's any negative action or bad action, let's not just wrap it under the carpet. Let's reward both good and bad action. So we recognize the good ones, but the bad action we also have to penalize. I can tell us at the last council meeting, we have opened a black book officially at the Institute, and 3 names have entered it. So we're going to inform the industry. So if you do something bad, we would inform the whole industry to say this person is this is what this person has done. This is the penalty we have given. We have even demembered 2 people. So we have to start punishing bad actions and continue to encourage the good action. That would drive the resilience going forward.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, you just said it, then you pick up your own question. Say it first.
I think it actually begins from the homes. We can't push everything to the industry. Everybody here is a parent in one way or the other. We should teach our children how to behave when they go outside. I witnessed a very sad thing during the last examination at Ashishi. A gentleman walked in very late to the exam. In fact, myself and the president were arguing, is this person here for this exam? Then he came in, he said he wanted to go inside, and somebody checked him up. You need to drop that purse in your hand. You can't take him to the examination. And he was very, very rude to the president, who is old enough to be his mother. I had to call his attention to it. Oga, you are speaking to the president of the Chartered Insurances of Nigeria. He said, after that, and so it begins from the home. Then even in our various offices, culture that we establish in our various offices also goes a lot way to say who we are. I'm always proud to say I had worked in certain organizations in my life. But if it's an organization that does not really have a culture, it will be, I would be proud to talk about that organization. Anywhere I go to, I'm proud to say I had worked in Cornerstone. I'm proud to say I had worked in Coronation. I'm also proud to say I had worked in Law Union Naro. So the culture begins from the home and also from the offices where we work.
Thank you. Because of time, I won't ask you another one. So can I get the final question? So they can. So, Tunde, how is Salam embedding wellness and preventive health features into life insurance policies? Health and preventive health features into life insurance.
All right, there's a nexus between health and life. It is who is healthy that will be that standard life that the guest speaker spoke about earlier on. And for us here all, living healthy is not a personal choice. It's a strategic advantage, right? As leaders, it is when you're physically well, when you're emotionally okay and mentally stable, that you can actually influence and impact. So for us, we do take health very important in all we do. We do not offer health insurance as a product, but we do well to educate our clients, individual clients that we have, and even those that are in our group policies. We're very particular about educating them and making them understand that health is wealth. It is who is healthy that can have good life and build good and sustainable legacy. The topic today really is about resilience, health, and legacy. But I think that legacy is what I want to speak more to. Today we're celebrating someone that came, saw, conquer in a very short period. Some of us didn't have opportunity to work with him directly, but we can see what his impact has been 25 years after he's gone. If we all take a lesson from Adetunji Ogunkanmi's life and close our eyes as Mr. Langbo asks us to do, and try to envision that end when we are no longer here, what will they write about us? You know, that's popular saying in Steve Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, begin with the end in mind. Today, we are talking about impact. What impact are we leaving on those that we encounter? So, back again, to round up, I'll just link it to what Nelson Mandela said, that it is not about us just existing and living. It is the difference we make in the lives of those that we touch that is important. So as we live our daily life, let's always think about the legacy that we're leaving behind. What would they write about us when we're no longer here? And it is not when we are close to going that we start living and thinking about that it is now. Because tomorrow is a promise that is never fulfilled. By the time we get to tomorrow, tomorrow is today. So let's not be procrastinative in nature. Let us start living right. Let's start impacting lives so that when we are no longer here too, remarkable things like this can be said about us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Inka, I think I've delivered. You judge. Well, thank you very much, panelists, and you have done justice to the theme of our today's event, and I'm happy to have, and I believe also our colleagues have also. I don't know if anyone has any question for any of the panelists. Any one of them? You have question? Someone is raising.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lola Lunge Adeyemi, second generation. My father was the first indigenous MD of Glanvilles. I'm a proud ambassador of Cornerstone, first female tech staff in Cornerstone. So I'm going to speak in that perspective. I'm super excited to be here and all protocols duly observed. I'm sure, you know, a lot of us that went to business school will remember that we're taught wealth at the bottom of the pyramid. And, you know, I feel so concerned, and it bothers me all the time, that insurance industry is not looking at that aspect. Remember when pure water came, you know, everybody was like, oh, 5 naira, or it was even less than, I guess. And it was affordable, and everybody, you know, even elites were at some point taking pure water. And I want us to start looking at insurance in that aspect. I'm hoping that things will change. Let's make insurance attractive. I know Doctor had said there's no generation that is looking at different aspects of, you know, insurance. Must we continue in the products that my father left? My father is going to be 87 in January. Must we continue in that product? Must it be fire? Can't we make it more interesting so that this generation can, you know, key into it? Because trust me, this is a digital generation, whether we like it or not. And we have to move according to their pace. Now, the last thing I would like to say, I'm glad that Mr. Stephen, the current MD of Cornerstone, mentioned subsidiaries. So I'm hoping that we'll see things like fintech coming out from Cornerstone. We'll see things like mentorship sessions coming out from Cornerstone, because they need mentors. These children are, sorry to use the word, the upcoming generation are super excited. They want to know what's going on, but they don't want to read it from the books. They want to see the action. They want to see it. So mentorship is very key. And finally, how can we innovate? We can only do that with tech. So let's start partnering with tech companies to see insurance revolve. I dare to say again, just like I said at CIN, where we'll see insurance company buy over banks. I dare to say again, where we'll have non-executive directors, board members, that are core tech people, so that they'll help drive the industry. Thank you.
There's another person at the back.
Good morning, everyone. Is it afternoon now? Good afternoon. My name is Dotsun Oluremi. I actually wanted to speak to the aspect of mentors and teachers in the industry. I remember very well that you actually followed me up, and until I became one of the lecturers in the college, and that was exactly what you did. But we have people, really, we do have people that can actually take up the areas that you talked about. For lack of time, I remember when I got into Cornerstone, the only person that was doing marine was Bode. And he's here, he's my guy there. So we thought he was, we thought he didn't know any other thing. But they can quote marine from, So I'm expecting people like that. Mr. Odusi, if he tells you the only thing that he tells you about in marketing is that Elolokoa, what is the loss ratio? So, like Lola was saying, those are people that can actually come up with things that made the company tick. And how do we now pass it on to other people? I'm trying in my little way with the assistant of the registrar here. But some of us will have to come in again and see how we can make it bigger. I'm going to close with it. You remember that our mentor, our founder, Adetunji Ogunkanmi, was an MD, and he was still lecturing at top tutors. How many of you remember? We were writing examination at top tutors. We'll leave our guy in the office. Then we'll meet him again in the classroom, teaching us property and pecuniary insurance. Those are the kind of legacies that we need to begin to establish. Thank you very much, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, my name is Bamidele Akonde, aka Sharp. Delay is dangerous. Like Madam Bimbo mentioned about ethical challenge, that's my own aspect, because most of my the years I've used insurance, I worked in the claims aspect. And today, the challenge is so much that it's like those who are not ethical, it's like they have formed maybe a group, a cartel, that we wake up, even the investigators, they are tired when you say go and investigate this and that. Most of the things that we knew from the back end, some of them have known. And we have seen some handwriting that there are some professionals among them. Mrs. Adekoya, I've shared some experience with her maybe not too long ago. Currently, we are having one now. And you see, once you block one side, they come out from the other side. And once you say, come for meeting, they will not appear again. And you see the handwriting that some of them are professionals because they know some of the things that will know that if you are looking for it, if it may be a mutual claim, you look for chassis number. You know the character. They know how they manipulate everything. By the time you want to catch them, they will say, okay, they are no longer interested in the claim. And when you say you have now opened book, I want to see, maybe as time goes on, maybe we need to name and shame some of them because it's so very challenging nowadays. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Moderator, please. I would like to speak to that. And the thing is, how will the institute know if nobody reports? That's the challenge we have. It's not that we also are not hearing some of these things, but there has to be an official reporting done. Because if you go and present to council members, the first thing they would ask you is, who reported? Where's the evidence? Where's the documents? You can't be bringing essays to council. We can only act on ethics if somebody somewhere in the industry, the same way you are reporting to NIA, the same way you are reporting to liability pool, you copy the institute and officially make a complaint. It's not as if we would, definitely we would investigate because we have an investigative committee, we have a disciplinary committee. Why were we able to open a bad book? Because we eventually found people that were culpable, but not among professionals. These are student members. So we need people that are professionals to report officially, then the institute will take it from there. But yes, the black book is here to stay. Thank you.
Round of applause for our panel. Please let's celebrate them as they step down from the Can we take a picture before they step down? Yes. Mr. Chairman, sir, the speaker, Mr. Langbo, and Ayo, you can please join them. Have you taken the picture? Thank you. Please, can you clap for them as they step down? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we're about closing, but we just want to take some quick words from some of the founding team of Cornerstone Insurance. Interestingly, the current managing director of Cornerstone just whispered to me that Cornerstone Insurance will be 35 years next year, and they are planning. So since he told me, what is on his mind is to tell you and officially invite you. So you look out for the information, and we should all join in the celebration. 35 years of legacy, and then they have a number of ideas that they are working on in terms of legacy. But please, I want to welcome, let me tell a quick story, if he doesn't mind. I am an insurance salesperson, but the first person that sold the idea to me was this man, and I didn't take him seriously. But a few years after, what he told me was like a prophetic word, and now that is what I do. Please welcome the Chief Client Officer of Mascot Insurance Brokers, Mr. Toye Onusi, to give us a few words.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'll maintain all protocols. When you have to pay tithe of those income that came to your pocket. Okay, we've been talking about resilience and legacy. Of course, we can't talk enough about Tunji Ogunkanmi and what he's done to each and every one of us here, particularly those that worked with him. I would liken it to even the faith-based organizations that started with CDs, cassettes. After every sermon, you go to Prayer City, you go to Redeemed Church, you go to all the faith-based organizations. You know, they used to put all those things on CDs and cassette so that you can go back home and listen to it. But they've all improved. They've all moved on. And now you have links. You know, you have, so you're on the net. So not only those in Nigeria, those abroad, those all over the world can also listen to it, and over a longer period of time. And those are resilience, those are legacy. So we in insurance, we need to do it. We need to do similar things for ourselves. And it's not going to be foot soldiers. It has to do we need to do more than we're doing. Cornerstone is about 35 years now. So all of us here would have put in nothing less than 20, 25, 30 years into insurance industry. And we need to do that as well. To let's insurance also see the resilience that we have introduced into the industry. And finally, as I step out, I'd also like to say that not only does Cornerstone have the number of MDs in other insurance companies, or EDs as well, but you'll see that Cornerstone also has a very high number of people that midwifed, promoted new businesses, new organizations in the industry, like brokerage outfits, insurance companies, and I think there's also an reinsurance company as well. So these are things that, and how did we all come about it? Through what we achieved, or through what we got from Tunji Ogunkanmi and his life in when he was here with us. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. I also want to invite the Managing Director of Goshen Insurance Brokers, a proud ambassador and a founding member, Mr. Sami Agari.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. We cannot, finish talking about Tunji Ogunkanmi. Tunji Ogunkanmi was indeed a colossus, a man of enormous talent, ability, and capacity. Indeed, it was when I got to Cornerstone with Tunji that I realized that insurance is actually the best profession in the world. Tunji taught us so much. Tunji will tell you, look, we do not have another company or industry we can call our own. This is who we are. This is where we are. And this is the best in the world in terms of insurance as an industry. In fact, when Tunji goes out to sell, he is not pleading with the client. He's letting the client know that, look, you need insurance. I'm not begging you to pay for it. You need it because insurance is the only industry where when anything crystallizes, you can shrug your shoulders and say, well, I have my insurance behind me. Tunji was an epitome of insurance. In fact, he taught us so much. You have confidence selling insurance. And indeed, for me, that was the confidence I had when I was living. I had nothing with me. But I said to myself, if I haven't done 13 years here, if I can put in what I have garnered and what I have learned from insurance through Tunji, I think I will make a success of it. I just had my intellectual property, no money. But we thank God for what the Lord has done. So Tunji gave us that confidence. And that is why I'm not surprised to hear that so many startups have come from those of us who went through Cornerstone. Indeed, if I come back again, I will do insurance again. Thank you.
We would like to bring up the Honorable Benga Ogunkanmi to also share a few words. Please, let's put our hands together for him as he comes.
Good morning, everyone. Let me stand on the existing protocol. Brother Adetunji meant a lot different to different people. So I don't want to talk about the insurance industry again. So, so I will talk about family and Iliogbo as a whole. When Mr. Ogumefun was referring Iliogbo to a village, I was trying to correct him. What are the characteristics of being a village? As of today, sir. Sir? Yes, sir. Iliogbo has a golf course now, 18 as we speak. And aside from Oshogbo City Stadium, Iliogbo still hosts the Nigeria League as we speak. So Iliogbo is no more a village. I'm coming to Brother Adetunji. A lot of people that were not even alive or they were younger when he died, they don't even know him as they know him as Ogunkanmi. But when they say, Tunji Ogunkanmi, or Akanji Ogunkanmi, or Bajo Ogunkanmi, just the other one that will know. But when you mention Cornerstone, they know, okay, you are talking about Tunji Ogunkanmi. What the legacy lives on, even as of today, is live, has encouraged a lot of younger people from Iliogbo. And the name still open door as of today. And I could remember when I went for my interview, I said the other time, then when I wanted to join Gateway Bank, I missed test because there was no phone call then. I got to, when I was looking for a job, I got the invitation late. So I went back to the head office. They now arranged an interview for me. There was supposed to be 3 there, but 2 are around. They said, okay, I should present my CV. Immediately I presented my CV. Are you related to Tunji Ogunkanmi Cornerstone? I said, yes. That was the end of the interview. that was, but I just want to encourage us, every one of us, to leave good name behind. Tí Yorùbá sọ pé èèyàn ní kú láéláé, it doesn't mean you won't die, you won't live. But what you leave behind will live after you. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Benga Ogunkanmi. And we'd also like to invite to represent the current staff of Cornerstone Insurance, Mojola Oluwa Ajibade, to also share a few words. Okay, I should echo it. Mojola Oluwa Ajibade from Ile Ogbo.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll just stand on existing protocol. So I'll be talking about the current staff. I had the opportunity of joining before. I can't call him Adetunji. I called him MD then because I was very young. I served there, but when I joined, I felt immediately I walked into the space, I felt that was the place I needed to be. It gave me, I saw a couple of young people who were determined to change, the industry. I studied economics, by the way, so I was just trying to find a link. How does this even resonate with me as a person? And over the years, one thing, and I've heard everyone in here talk about, is the DNA. It has to do with the culture. Cornerstone gives you the platform, to learn, to bring in your talent into the space, to apply yourself, and to become a leader. So it's no gainsaying when we talk about having seen so many startup businesses or MDs coming from Cornerstone. The legacy lives on, even though some people have not met with our visionary, our founder, but they feel the impact, they see it in us. Even the young people that joined after, there's so many of them, that never really had direct relationship with the late Tunji Ogunkanmi, but, that DNA continues. It circles around the cardinal points which were earlier shown: people, process, technology. When you talk about people, it's not just bringing people for their talents just to harness the company's virtues, but it's also to develop them. There's that family that you see. So you see so many people that you've not seen in a long time. We're family. That's the culture that we have in Cornerstone, to be able to impact on others and ourselves. And I hear the registrar also mentioning that we should try and, mentor and ensure that we coach people. I believe that will be coming up. My MD has said some things I will be doing. And based on the recommendation, I'm sure MD is here. When we get back to the office, he'll be able to come up with something. But I just want to say, I'm happy to be here. I served in Cornerstone. I've worked in various departments. It's home to me, and I'm happy. And I thank God for giving me the opportunity to be part of this family. Thank you.
Thank you, Mojola. Thank you all for being here. We are going to be closing in the next few minutes. We want to invite the president of our foundation and the Cornerstone ambassador. Oh, okay. Standing in for the president, we want to invite the chairman of the planning team for this year's lecture, Olumide Babawale George. Please, let's celebrate the planning committee chairman as he comes.
I want to stand on existing protocol. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Babawale Olumide Adekunle. I actually worked in Cornerstone. I want to resonate with what Mrs. Ajibade just said now. The first time we got into Cornerstone, the moment you are entering a company, there's something that comes into you, and you're like, this is a family. I worked in management services where people come to work on a Sunday and they work up to 7 p.m. because we have to provide generator for them to work. On their own, no benefits. And I said, there's something going on in this company. Because where we're coming from, when it's 5 o'clock, everybody's gone. But in Cornerstone, people are working. They work Monday to Friday. Saturday, they are coming. Sunday, they are working. So there's something working for Cornerstone. So the message from the president, he said, and I'll quote him. Sorry, 1 minute. He said, if they ever, this is a quote from Troy, if they ever tell our story, let them say that we walked with giants. Men rise and fall like the winter wheat, but these names will never die. Let them say we lived in the time of Adetunji Ogunkanmi, the founder of Cornerstone. Let them say we lived in the time of Akombi. So on behalf of the president of the foundation, I want to say thank you for coming. And since I'm taking the vote of thanks, I also want to say thank you very much for coming. The BOT chairman, the BOT committee, the planning committee, and every members of the ambassadors that have made this to happen. We want to say thank you for coming, for taking your time from the tight schedule to turn up for this event. We don't take it for granted. And we want to thank you for coming once again. Thank you.
So on that note, I want to appreciate everyone once more. 25 years looks a long time, but it looks so short. Who could imagine that we would have spent 25 years without Tunji? But it doesn't look like we've spent it without him. He's been with us all along. That's why we are still gathered. That's why we still talk about him as if he's right here with us. So I say, like I said earlier, Tunji lives on. We may not see him physically. Many may not have met him. But his spirit, his person, his persona lives. Thank you for coming. Please. Oh, apologies. Well, that's a protocol we have to break. Our guy is raising his hand. Mr. Bodi Okpadokun, please.
Thank you very much, Inka. I thought I would have been privileged to be called upon. And now that I wasn't called, I decided to call myself. Because it's very unfair on my own part if I don't say anything about this program. I'm privileged to met Tunji Ogunkanmi way back in 1987 as a student. And he taught me the professional exams then. And also my first insurance practice started in Cornerstone as a pioneer staff. That was in April 1991. Whatever I am today in terms of insurance practice cannot be taken away from Tunji Ogunkanmi. He made me. Truly. My leadership style, being able to mentor people, it's one of the things that he was very good at, and I learned all of that from him. But as we are celebrating 25 years of his death, I want us to also reflect and look back. What are the things that this foundation has been able to achieve? And what are we looking forward to and the timeline? Because in a very short while, we are going to celebrate his 30th. God give us good health and sound mind. 35, 40, 50. This foundation, I would say, one of the major achievements he has still been able to put each and every one of us together, which is a very good achievement. But for some of us that knows Tunji Ogunkanmi while he was around, there are a lot of people that he adopted in terms of training, schooling, doing so many things to help the needy. Probably the trustee can start thinking, is it possible to even adopt students for insurance practice, to sponsor them? I think if he's been alive, these are some of the things that Tunji would have loved to do. So for the spirit to live on, let's look at how best we can make him happy wherever he is, such that looking back, if you are here 5 years, 10 years, the mentorship you are talking about will have been able to bring out some people through the foundation who can also. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bode Opadokun, for those parting words. So it's leave that note. I want to warmly appreciate the chairman of the occasion, Mr. Kunle Ogunkanmi. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Please, round of applause for him. I appreciate the speaker for today, who is also the current managing director of Cornerstone. Thank you for agreeing to speak to us today. We want to celebrate Ogunkanmi, Barrister Ogunkanmi. Thank you so much for being here to show us a representation of the man that we all celebrate. I want to celebrate everyone for coming. You blazed the trail, you dared the traffic, you confronted the challenge of being in VI on a day like this. So appreciate yourselves. Thank you, everyone. Please take a few moments to meet, to greet, to take pictures, because I don't know when next we are going to meet physically like this. So make every effort to take advantage of today. Thank you for coming. Safe journeys to your homes. Merry Christmas in advance. And I wish us all a prosperous New Year 2026. Thank you.